Okay, hello everyone. It is Keenan here with some pair programming of chapter 7. Lesedi is going to be driving for me, and today we are going to be covering loops. So the first area we're going to focus on is page 155 on mine. Technically, it's 117, don't worry. But this is chapter 7. 7.1 is going to be our first question, rental car. Write a program that asks the user what kind of rental car they would like. Print a message about that car such as, let me see what I can find. Let me see if I can find you a Subaru. So, let's see what we got here. First of all, we got our variable rental car, and it's going to take the input from our user asking us the statement, what kind of rental car would you like? Finally, it's going to print that exact statement, let me see what I can find. And in this formatted string, we use the placeholder to stick in the user input. Okay.
Okay.
If we give it a run, what kind of rental car would you like? Ford. Let me see if I can find you a Ford. Now you'll see I also didn't do any formatting to anything whatsoever. Okay, but anyways, pretty straightforward, I'm assuming. We can move on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Restaurant seating. Write a program that asks the user how many people are in their dinner group. If the answer is more than 8, print a message saying they will have to wait for a table. Otherwise, report that the table is ready. So first things here. First things first. We create a variable for the group size, and it's going to take user input. But what do we know about user input? It loves to return strings. And because we are entering a number, we need to convert that into an integer, which is what we do with this integer. Yeah, is this a function or is it a class? Like, how do we refer to
It's a
these?
function. This one is a function.
Cool. So then we use our
Yeah.
integer function. Next, this is where our if and else comes in. Sorry, conditions. There we go. It's going to first check to see if our group size is larger than 8. If it is, it'll say, sorry, you'll have to wait. Otherwise, guess what? Our table is ready. Excuse me. Line 8, did I accidentally do something? Okay, line 8, a marginal group size. But why? Okay, let's give you another run. Okay, what kind of rental car would you like? Ford, great. Here we go. How many people are in your dinner group? So let's say that there's 8 people. Your table is ready. Let's run it again. But this time we're going to put in a different one. Whoopsies. There we go. How many people are in your dinner group? Let's say 9. Sorry, you'll have to wait for a table. But now, this is something else that's quite interesting. What happens if we put the number 8 instead of just the number 9? Because 8 isn't technically bigger than itself.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen? Well, if we put the number 8, the table is ready. And that is because 8 is not bigger than itself. If we did want it to be the case of if it's 8 or more, we'd have to say 1, 2, 3, greater than or equals to.
True. Yes.
Okay, makes sense so far?
100%.
Cool. Next up is 7.3, multiples of 10. So first it's going to ask the user for a number and then report whether the number is a multiple of 10 or not. So let's see here. First of all, we do the same thing as before. We ask for user input, store it in a variable, and because you're working with numbers, convert to integer, always. Next, this is where it gets interesting. We are going to check if the number is a multiple of 10. We use this sign. Okay, hold on. Sorry, my brain is having a fart. So we're going to check to see if it's a multiple of 10. And then finally, we're going to use our placeholders to fill in the blanks. If it is, it will follow through with our if statement. If not, well, what else are you going to do?
Okay.
Okay, makes sense?
Still clear?
Cool. Oh, god damn it, the TV turned off. 1 sec. Okay. So next up, we are going to be going to page... Okay, come, disappear HDMI. Okay, 161. Here we are going to find 7.4 through 7.7. The first one being pizza toppings. We need to write a loop that prompts the user to enter a series of pizza toppings until they enter a quit value. Oh wait, sorry. I jumped the gun. We're still here on the multiples of 10. Because I never actually tested it. Why don't you remind me? So let's enter the value 5. 5 is not a multiple of 10. So let's give it another run. Great. How many people are in your group? 5. Now, if we had to say 20, 20 is indeed a multiple of 10.
Multiple of 10. Okay.
Okay. Now, swiftly moving on. So, our previous the question we just read was to ask the user to input pizza toppings. So what I've done here is creating a while loop. This is going to constantly run asking for inputs, and it's going to store this in the variable topping. Now what it's going to do is, first of all, it's going to check to see if we have typed in the word quit. If it does, it's going to break our loop. Break is the key word to stop any loop. And then finally, it's going to print a message, add in whatever topping to your pizza. So we have two outcomes. Either we quit or we add our topping. And then once we are done, once we've finally typed in quit, the message, your pizza is ready, will be displayed. So let's check it out. Let's do pineapple supreme. Add in pineapple supreme to your pizza. Let's do another one. Bacon. Add in bacon to your pizza. And then finally, quit. Your pizza is ready.
Works perfectly.
Okay. Now on to 7.5, movie tickets. A movie theater charges different ticket prices depending on the person's age. If a person is under the age of 3, the ticket is free. If they are between 3 and 12, the ticket is $10, and if they are over the age of 12, the ticket is $15. We need to write a loop in which we ask users their age and then tell them the cost of their movie ticket. Pretty straightforward. Same as before, we create our while loop to keep everything running. It's going to ask our users for their age, convert it into an integer, store it in a variable, and then our conditions come. First, we're going to check if their age is equal to 0. If it is simply going to say, thank you for using the movie ticket service, and end it. That's how we quit.
Okay.
Next, we have if, Aleph, and Else, our 3 favorite brothers. The first one is going to see if our age is less than 3. If it is, it'll set our variable ticket price to 0. If they are less than or equal to the age, which is stored up here, or less than or equal to 12, then it will set the ticket price to $10. And then finally, if no other outcomes are true, what else are you going to do? Set the ticket price to 15. Okay. And then finally, it's going to display all our information in a nice string. So let's enter our age. I'm going to be 22 for this example. The ticket price for someone who is 22 years old is $15. Okay. If I am 3 years old, it should be $10. If I'm 2 years old, it should be free. Okay.
Yeah.
Making sense?
100% on my side. No problems.
Cool. And then finally, 0 to exit.
Then I see when you press 0, when you enter 0, it actually quits, which works perfectly.
Cool. Now we're going on to 7.6, 3 exits. Write different versions of either exercise 3.4 or 7.4, 7.5. that do each of the following at least once. Use a conditional test in the while loop to stop the loop. Use an active variable to control how long the loop runs. And use a break statement to exit the loop when the user enters a quit value. Okay, let me just see what I wrote here. Loop to ask for an age until a certain condition is met, and then initialize. Cool. So first things first here, we are going to leave the age as none. We're going to leave it nice and empty.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we are going to first create our while loop, and we are going to check while age is not equal to quit. Okay. It'll keep running. Next, we ask the user for their input. Please enter your age. Ooh, but I think I forgot something here. I think I might have entered it in later, but just to be safe. Just to be safe. Okay. Next, it's going to bring, now come the conditions. First, it's going to check if you want to exit by lowercasing everything in the age variable and seeing if it equals to quit. Oh yeah, no, I don't need this because it's going to return a string if we put in quit. And if you put in quit and it tries to convert into an integer, you're going to get left with an error. Sorry, my mistake. Okay.
No problem. I see when you get to the if statement, you're already using the is digit to check if it's a number, a valid one. Yeah.
So then that's where, yeah, self-explanatory. That's where we're going to check it. And then it's going to store it as an integer in age this time. So now it's converted from a string to an integer. And now it's going to check to see if our age is less than 3, if our age is in between 3 and 12, and finally if it's older than 12, the same as before. And then we have our one final else, and that's if you don't enter a valid age or quit. So if you somehow ended up dropping your head on your keyboard, it would say please enter a valid age. So let's see. Enter your age or type Q to quit. So let's type in 5. It'll be $10. 2 would be 0. 55 would be 15. And quit will quit. Thank you for using the movie ticket service. Okay, now in version 2. This is where we got fun with it. First we create a counter variable. This is going to be what controls how long our while loop runs. And then finally, here we have stuck in max attempt variable, setting it to 5. You'll see this come into play a little bit later.
Okay.
So now, what this is going to do is it's going to constantly check the condition, is our counter less than our max attempts? Okay. So while this is running, it's going to once again ask us for our input, for our age.
Okay.
So now we're going to check to see if it's quit. If it is, it quits. Great. We know how breaks work. But now we're going to go back to our ifs. Once again, it's going to go through the same cycle. If age is digit, and then it's going to store age as an integer in age, and then do our checks. We know that. But at the end of our loop, we are going to increment our counter by 1. So every time this cycles up, that's going to keep counting up until it reaches 5, and this will then stop. So let's test it in action. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. You've reached your maximum number of attempts, 5.
Oh, that is very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still vibing with you?
100%.
Oh yeah, there's our final F to display if we've maxed it out. Okay, and now our final third version, a loop with a break statement to exit or quit. Once again, while true, it's going to ask us for our input or to type in quit, and basically the exact same thing as before. It's going to check to see if we've typed in quit. If it do, it quits. It breaks our statement. It breaks our loop. And our same conditions as before, checking our ages and distributing the price accordingly. So let's check here. We're going to type in 4, 5, 12, 2, all working, and quit. Okay, yeah, this, was I supposed to do this? Oh yeah, infinity.
Yeah, that is a yeah, infinity loop. So
Yeah, so this final one, infinity, is to create a loop that never ends. And the quickest way to do
obsolete.
that, create a variable and say while it equals its value, keep printing its value. Nothing more to say there. So everything's still sticking so far.
Everything's still clear on my side. Yes.
Okay, cool. Next, we're going to go to page 165. Delhi 7.8. Make a list called sandwich orders and fill it with names of various sandwiches, and then make an empty list called finished sandwiches. Loop through the list of sandwich orders and print a message for each order, such as I made your tuna sandwich. As each sandwich is made, move it to the list of finished sandwiches. After all the sandwiches have been made, print a message listing each sandwich that was made. Can we never say the word sandwich again, please? Anyway, here's our list. I've stocked it with tuna, chicken, veggie, turkey, and ham.
Okay.
And then we have our empty list here, which is going to remain empty until we add to it.
Mm-hmm.
So first we're going to loop through our list of sandwich orders. So we create a temporary variable for a for loop. We know how this works. And it's going to
Yeah.
print our formatted string, placing what sandwich type it is inside of our string. And at the end of that, it's going to then take our finished sandwiches and append whatever was last mentioned from our for loop.
Okay.
I kind of love how values work in here. We got a value in here that is stored in here, that gets bounced to stored in here, which then gets
Yeah.
stored in here, which is stored in here. Love it.
Yeah.
And then finally, once all our sandwiches are made, it's going to print them all. Yeah, it's going to print them all. Okay, you can close. Okay, let's go all the way to the top here. I made you tuna sandwich, chicken, veggie, turkey, and ham. And then finally, all sandwiches made as we've stuck them in this list. Tuna,
Yeah.
chicken, veggie, turkey, and ham.
Perfect.
Cool. Next up is 7.9. No pastrami. Using the list sandwich orders from exercise 7.8, make sure the sandwich pastrami appears in the list at least 3 times. Add code near the beginning of your program to print a message saying the deli has run out of pastrami, and then use a while loop to remove all occurrences of pastrami from sandwich orders. Make sure that there are no pastrami sandwiches in our final list. So, let's see what happens. Where was it? Here's our list. Tuna, pastrami, chicken, pastrami, veggie, pastrami, turkey, ham.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here comes our print. The deli has run out of pastrami. Now we create a while loop. Now this is going to check as long as the word pastrami exists in this list, it will keep looping. But now what does it do? With every loop, it will remove pastrami until it's all done. And then what does Python
Yeah.
do? Move on to the next line. That is where it's going to copy from the previous one, and it's going to print each and every sandwich and append them to our
Okay.
finished sandwiches list.
Okay.
So if we check here, the deli has run out of pastrami, and you will not see a single strami appear. A none.
Yeah. That has been removed.
Okay. Making sense so far?
100% on my side.
Groovy. And finally, 7.10, Dream Vacation. Write a program that polls users about their dream vacation. Write a prompt similar to if you could visit one place in the world, where would you go? Include a block of code that prints the results of the poll. So let's create an empty one. Now if you'll notice, Those are two unique brackets that we have there. Almost as if though we were going to be creating a dictionary. Oh, gasp. No, we'll get there, we'll get there, we'll get there. Anyways, without any spoilers, we go ahead and we create our while loop. We're going to ask our users for their name first to store that. Next, it's going to also check to see if we want to quit. We know this, we've done it, we all know how the quit works.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to prompt the users to enter their vacation spot, which is going to be stored in this variable. They're going to be working in tandem with each other. And this is where we store it in our dictionary. We're going to start off with vacation poll, which is the name of our dictionary. What place is it going to fill? Oh, whoopsies. What is it going to insert as a key? Well, the person's name is the key. And finally, what is the key value going to be? The vacation spot. Then finally, it'll print all the results as is. For name and vacation spot, in vacation poll, and item. So it'll loop for every single item that is in the poll.
Okay.
So if we go down here, what is your name? Keenan. Hi Keenan, if you could visit one place, where would you go? Germany. Cool. What's your name? Michael. Where would you love to go, Michael? Greece. What is your name? Matthew. Where would you love to go? Australia. Cool. Close enough. And then we can quit. We have 3 names now. And would you look at that? Keenan would like to visit German. Michael would love to visit Greece. Matthew would like to visit Australia.
Everything works perfectly, and I also love the formatting. Most people always forget formatting.
Oh, thank you.
It's very important. Thank you, Keenan.
Only a pleasure. So, done and dusted there. Satisfied with what you've seen? No questions.
No questions. Everything works perfectly. I love everything. Explanation perfect.
Love it! Then to those watching, this has been chapter 7. Thank you all for joining. I'll see you again in chapter 8.